Sometime last year, the price of a component almost nobody thinks about started behaving strangely. A stick of RAM that used to cost around $90 was suddenly closer to $400. And it wasn't just RAM. Phones, laptops, the next PlayStation, all creeping upward, all tracing back to the same source. The easy explanation is AI. And that's true, but it isn't really an answer. Because if the whole world wants more memory, and the companies that make it are more profitable than they have ever been, the real question is why they don't simply make more of it. I went looking for that answer. What's at the end of the thread is stranger than a shortage. Start with the theory most people reach for, that we're running out of the raw material. It's wrong, and it's worth understanding why, because the mistake points straight at the real choke point. RAM is made from silicon. Silicon comes from sand, one of the most common substances on the planet. Nobody is running out of sand. The constraint isn't the material, it's the machine that turns it into a chip. To etch circuitry a few nanometers wide, you need a process called extreme ultraviolet lithography. And there is exactly one company on Earth that can build the machines that do it. A Dutch firm called ASML, not the market leader, the only maker there is. Each system runs between $250 and $380 million, carries something like 100,000 precision parts, and ASML can finish only a handful of the most advanced ones in a year. The order book already runs past 2027. Then follow who's buying them. The memory companies don't get a private supply. They bid for the same machines as TSMC and Intel, the chip makers building the processors that run AI. And in early 2026, something happened that hadn't before. Memory buyers overtook logic and took the majority of ASML's sales. Everyone is now fighting over the same few machines. Even if you win that fight, a single new factory costs $10 to $20 billion and takes years to bring online. And for HBM, the specific memory this whole AI boom is built on, there's a second wall waiting behind the wafers. The advanced packaging, where the chips get stacked, and that line is jammed too. So when people ask why the industry doesn't just make more, this is the honest version. The one company that makes the essential tool is booked out for years. The tool costs $1/3 of $1 billion. A new plant costs $20 billion and takes years. And the memory makers are quietly losing the bidding war to the AI chip giants. You can't sand your way out of this. That explains the ceiling on supply. It doesn't explain the part that actually stings, which is why consumer RAM specifically got gutted while the AI companies get everything they asked for. That wasn't bad luck. It was a rational business decision, and it comes down to one piece of manufacturing math. Rewind to 2022 and 2023. Memory was in a glut, prices were on the floor, and the three companies that dominate the industry, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, did what they always do at the bottom of the cycle. They cut output and stopped investing. Then 2025 arrived, the AI build-out went vertical, and demand collapsed onto one product, high bandwidth memory, HBM. The stacked memory that sits beside an AI accelerator and feeds it fast enough to keep it working. Because these systems aren't really limited by raw compute, they're limited by how fast you can move data to them. A top-end GPU without enough HBM is a Ferrari running on a garden hose. The number that reorganized the entire industry came from Micron's own business chief, Sumit Sadana, in an interview with CNBC. Turning a wafer into HBM instead of ordinary DDR5 costs you roughly 3 times the wafer capacity per gigabyte. Because it's stacked, the packaging is harder and the yields are lower. Analysts named it the 3-to-1 rule. Every bit of AI memory you make costs you about 3 bits of the normal kind. Now, sit in the executive's chair. The same wafer can become cheap consumer RAM, or HBM for customers who are desperate, locked into multi-year contracts, and paying 5 to 6 times the margin. That's not a decision, it's arithmetic. Every wafer that becomes HBM is a wafer that never becomes the memory in your PC. Consumer RAM didn't so much get expensive as get starved, deliberately for reasons that make complete business sense. What followed was one of the most violent price moves this component has ever seen. Contract prices for DDR5 jumped 90 to 95% in a single quarter. A 32 gigabyte kit that sold for around $100 last year was going for close to $400 by June. Depending on the category, consumer memory is up somewhere between 3 and 6 times off its lows. And the damage didn't stay in one lane. Micron shut down Crucial, its consumer brand, entirely, and told investors the move freed up wafers for its AI customers. Apple, which holds some of the best supply contracts on the planet, quietly pulled its high memory max studios. Phone makers stopped raising specs, leaving flagships stuck at 12 gigabytes. Valve delayed its Steam machine. The next Xbox is shaping up to cost about what a decent gaming PC does. Now, turn the story around, because for the three companies at the center of it, this is the best market they've ever had. Margins on DDR5 are running near 90%, the kind of number you'd expect from software, not from a commodity chip, and then came the moment that shows how upside down things have gotten. On June 22nd, SK Hynix passed Samsung to become the most valuable company in South Korea. A day later, it told investors it was slowing down its next generation HBM4 on purpose to keep more of its lines producing plain DDR5 because DDR5 had become too profitable to give up. The shortage had gotten lucrative enough that the supplier chose to make it last, which is where a reasonable person starts to get suspicious. Three companies control 90% of this market. They are all, in the polite industry phrase, showing pricing discipline. And on June 25th, 17 plaintiffs filed suit accusing them of coordinating to inflate prices. The same three companies that were convicted of fixing memory prices about 20 years ago. So is this a genuine shortage or a quiet cartel? The most unsettling answer is that it might not matter which. In a market with three players, nobody has to pick up a phone and conspire. Each of them can see for themselves that flooding the market would wreck their own margins. Restraint doesn't take a plot. It just takes everyone independently doing the obvious thing, in silence, in plain sight. So, when does it break? The uncomfortable answer is that the old normal probably isn't coming back at all. The new factories everyone points to, the ones that are supposed to fix this, don't add meaningful capacity until the middle of 2027 at the earliest, and 2028 for Samsung. The chairman of SK's parent group has said publicly he believes the wafer shortage could run until 2030. This is a problem measured in years, not quarters. And here's what makes just waiting for the new factories a mistake. Each new generation of HBM makes the squeeze worse, not better. When Samsung ramped up HBM4, the expectation was more total memory. What actually came was the opposite because HBM4 stacks more layers at lower yields, so bringing it online pulled even more capacity away from consumer DDR5. The roadmap that keeps the AI companies fed is the same roadmap that keeps starving everyone else one generation after the next. There is one real wildcard, and it sits on the demand side rather than supply. If AI systems get dramatically better at using memory efficiently, the pressure could ease. Google has published work claiming large memory savings on long context workloads, but those claims are contested, and the history of computing is unkind to this hope. Every efficiency gain we've ever invented has eventually been eaten by more usage. Step back, and the real story isn't a spike, it's a repricing. For decades, memory was the cheap, invisible part of your devices, the thing nobody thought about. AI turned it into a strategic resource that trillion-dollar companies fight over and turned the handful of firms that make it into some of the most powerful businesses on the planet. The RAM in your machine didn't get expensive by accident. It got expensive because it's now competing for the exact same silicon as the most valuable industry on Earth. And it's losing. That's RAMageddon, a cyclical industry that stopped investing at exactly the wrong moment. An AI boom that needed the one thing it makes, and a single machine nobody can build fast enough, quietly repricing every device you own. If this pulled together a few threads the headlines left loose, do me a favor. We're trying to get this channel to 5,000 subscribers, and this is the kind of story we dig into here. Subscribe, it's free and it takes a second, and it's the biggest thing that decides whether videos like this keep getting made. And tell me in the comments, shortage or quiet cartel. I will read all comments. See you in the next one.